But I want to start, Sergio, with some news that broke on Wednesday night. And that was Boots Ennis taking to social media to announce that he is done at 147 pounds. Boots Ennis unified the welterweight division with a win over Amata Stanionis in his last fight. Now, it seems like he has his sights set for the junior middleweight division. So let's start here. Do you think this is the right decision for Boots Ennis to move up to 54?
Yeah, because he's been struggling to make 147, and we don't want to see any bad performances at 147, or we don't want the weight blamed anytime he doesn't get the knockout. You know, he had some tough fights against Karen Chukadzian. I don't know if it was a weight, or we have to give credit to Karen Chukadzian. Either way, he's a big guy, and we've seen it in his last fight with Stanionis after he rehydrated. He looked like a beast. He looked big. He looked bigger than a 154 pounder, actually. So he's going to fit in perfectly at 154. And I should know, I won a championship at junior middleweight. I watched him and I'm like, wow, he's tall. He has a long frame, very muscular. And of course, he could fight his butt off. He's going to fit in perfectly at junior middleweight.
Look, he did what he set out to accomplish at welterweight. He didn't move up last year, didn't take the fight against Virgil Ortiz, took a lot of criticism for that. But he said he wanted to win a title outright in the ring, and he said he wanted to unify the division. He did that. He had the best performance of his career, I thought, against Amata Stanionis. He became the unified champion in that fight. Would I have liked to have seen him gone for undisputed? Sure, in a vacuum, I would have liked to have seen that, but that would have been difficult given the landscape. We know Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios are going to fight for one version of the welterweight title in July. Brian Norman had one of the biggest bag drops that I can recall in not taking the fight with Boots Ennis. Multiple times, Brian Norman had opportunities to take a fight against Boots Ennis. Didn't do it, so sorry, Brian Norman. You're kind of out of luck. I think he accomplished everything he could accomplish at 147. To your point, he is a big guy. Going up to 154 should not be a major problem for him. His size should carry up. His power should carry up. He should still be still have speed, still be skillful. I think he's making the right move at the right time. And going up as a unified champion at 147, that's going to give him some cachet as he begins his journey in this new division. Now, we both know that 154 is arguably the deepest division in all of boxing. 1 through 10, 1 through 12, 1 through 15, it is loaded with talent at 154 pounds. I don't expect Boots Ennis to challenge for a title in his very first fight. I think he's going to try to get his feet wet against a good guy at 154 pounds and then go from there. So who would you like to see Boots face in his first fight at junior middle?
I think he could send a big message to the whole junior middleweight division if he goes for a fighter in Israel Madrimov, a guy that almost beat Virgil Ortiz Jr., 115, 113 on two judges' scorecards, and had a really good performance and gave Bud Crawford a handful where two judges had it the same, 115, 113. I think if he can move up and actually beat and even stop a fighter like Madrimov that no one stopped before, he could send a message and all eyes will be on him. It'll be something difficult to do, but Madrimov has way better feet than most junior middleweights, and he has the experience, the Olympic background. He has the power, and now it's a must-win with back-to-back losses. I mean, there were close losses, but still, you have back-to-back L's on your record. So I think Madrimov makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. For a fighter like Boots, that he'll fight anyone, anywhere. Not only that, but there was a lot of talk about Boots one day fighting Bud. I mean, this is the closest you're going to get is by making a statement against a guy that Bud couldn't really handle all that significantly. If you can knock out Madrimov, send a message to everyone, including Bud.
All right. Well, that is predictably a terrible first opponent for Boots Ennis. Madrimov is just the wrong style to make your debut at 154. Madrimov is challenging. And I'm not even going to say the word tough. He's challenging. Like that herky-jerky in and out style. It's tough to figure him out. And right now, because he's got those back-to-back losses, he is the definition of high risk, low reward. I don't see the upside of Boots Ennis going in against a guy like Madrimov. It's too complicated to
So
fight
why
someone
don't you
like that.
impress me with a name, Mr. Chris
All right,
Mannix,
I can do that.
expert matchmaker? Tell me who he should fight next.
I've got it for you. It's also a guy Virgil Ortiz has faced, and that's Sergey Bohachuk. Sergey Bohachuk would be my pick for Boots Ennis. I don't know what you're laughing at. Sergey Bohachuk is coming up.
It's not a major difference. I mean, they're both dangerous.
Oh, it's a huge, but they're different. They're different for very different reasons. Like Bohachuk is going to be in your face all night long. Bohachuk's not going to run. Bohachuk's not going to move. Bohachuk is going to throw punches. There's danger to it. I'll give you that. He knocked down Virgil a couple of times in a very competitive fight, but he lost that fight. He's bounced back with a couple of wins. I was at his last fight when he fought Michael Fox. Michael Fox just ran the entire time. Couldn't look good in a fight like that. Won a wide decision. I think if you're Boots Ennis, you go up to 54, you don't want a guy that's going to try to outmaneuver you for a win. You want to test your feet, test your strength, test your skills against the guy that's going to be right there. And Bohachuk is right there. Every single fight Sergey Bohachuk is in is a good one. Every single one. Even the ones he loses. So that to me would be a much better option for Boots Ennis.
Hey, while we're at it, why don't we do the perfect trifecta of bad matchmaking and dig out Bakran Murtazaliev? I mean, while we're at it, Bohachuk, Murtazaliev, Madrimov, hey, pick any of these guys. They're all going to be dangerous, but you said it, down the junior middleweight list, you're not going to have an easy fight. You're going to start looking at Sebastian Fundora, 6'6" southpaw.
No.
You're looking at a lot of guys that are very difficult opponents for either it's going to be the footwork, the height, the power, or all three combined. All right, so look, Boots is moving up. And he's going to have a hard time looking and shining. But if he wants to make a statement to the biggest names in the division, in his division, even at 154, go against a guy that the best in Bud and a highly ranked guy that's knocking out everyone. Virgil couldn't stop and beat convincingly.
Well, but he didn't win those fights. Like, he lost. Like,
No,
even though the Crawford fight was close, nobody thought that he won. The Virgil Ortiz fight was close. Nobody really thought he won. He lost those fights clean. So why would you want to take on a guy that is coming off a 2-fight losing streak as opposed who's, again, very tricky? I think that needs to be taken into account here. Like, this guy's tricky. He's going to be moving in and out, moving around the ring. If I'm Boots Ennis, I don't want to go hunting that guy down and try to find him. That doesn't work for him. Why not take out the guy that dropped Virgil a couple of times in their fight, that has won 2 fights in a row, that is going to be there and give you a great television fight? Like, if you're Boots Ennis, this first fight at junior middleweight, you want it to be a springboard to something else. Bohachuk would be that springboard. Like, it's tough. Certainly have a chance of losing. Bohachuk is a career-long junior middleweight. He's big. He's strong. He's got a lot going for him. But if you want to look good in your first fight in a new weight class, that's the guy you fight. Not the guy that's moving all the way around. Not Bakram Mutsalayev, who is, he's a world champion. I don't think you want to take him on your first fight. Like, take on Sergey Bohachuk, and if you win convincingly there, you can face anybody in that division.
Anytime you mention Bakram Murtazaliev, I get chills in my neck, man. It's just
because you don't pronounce his name correctly. That's why.
No, because he's dangerous, and I can't believe what he did to Fundora.
No.
But listen, all these fights are going to generate interest. All these fights are going to be great. They're all going to be tough fights. He's not going to have an easy fight at 154. He wanted to unify 147. He did. He outgrew it. The best advice for me was, when you have all these killers at 154, why the hell are you going to leave a weight division where you're dominating? You're the number one guy. Let's continue being the top dog in a division where you can become undisputed. But his height, his size wouldn't allow that. He had to move up. Now he has other monsters to face, and it's going to be very difficult for him to win a championship there and to unify one day too.
It's going to be difficult, but I don't think it's as difficult to do it as it would be to do it at 47. If Barrios beats Pacquiao, I don't believe Barrios would be looking to fight Boots Ennis. I sure know Pacquiao wouldn't be looking to fight Boots Ennis. And Brian Norman had his chances, multiple chances to do a fight with Boots that would have been big in Philadelphia. He elected not to do it. I think go to 54. We'll see what happens in the Fundora Zoo rematch. Bakram is still going to be out there for him to fight. I think there's a chance for him to become a title holder quickly, unified quickly. He's got the promoter behind him. He's got a city that will buy tickets to watch him fight behind him. I don't think it's going to be as tricky as you might think to become unified and maybe even undisputed at 154 pounds.